All right. Calling this continued public hearing to order at 7:01 p.m. on Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. This meeting is being taped for transmission purposes only, and the written minutes and attachments, if any, will serve as the official record of this meeting. Any personal conversations should be saved until after the meeting so that those attending virtually will be able to hear. Any board member, as always, if there's any conflict of interest, including ex parte communication, should disclose now. And I will now ask the secretary to call the roll.
Calabro.
Here.
Hoop.
Here.
Zalesnik.
Here.
Schaefer.
Here.
Rubel.
Here.
In the audience are alternates Rollins, Stanwyck, trustees Engelmann and Asherle, zoning inspector Wilson, and trustee Sweattick is attending virtually.
Okay. This is a continuation of the public hearing of Mr. Ben McKay from April 24th. And if I will ask the secretary to just read the portion that what the application is for.
An application for a conditional use permit, AP 0278, was submitted by Ben McKay, property owner of 141 Center Road, Hinckley, Ohio, permanent parcel number 01603B42036, requesting to operate a landscape business to include accessory buildings for office use, equipment, maintenance, parking, and storage of equipment at the stated address. Inspection of this property will take place Saturday, April 20th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Zoning reference, Chapter 6, District Regulations, Section 6R1.3.a, and Chapter 7, Conditional Zoning Certificate, Section 7.5.a of the Hinckley Township Zoning Regulations.
Thank you. Hinckley Township Board of Zoning Appeals acts within the authority of Section 519 of the Ohio Revised Code and exercises its powers as provided under Chapter 7 and 13 of the Hinckley Township Zoning Regulations. All hearings are open to the public, as this hearing is also the continued hearing. And as mentioned before, everyone that wants to testify must do so from the podium and must state their name and address. And at this point, I would ask the applicant, if you want to step up, if you want to let us know what is going on.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here today to ask for a continuation of another month to get some more things accomplished off the list. I've already moved buildings that were encroaching the setback. I've planted privacy trees, and I've filed for permits for 2 of the structures with Mr. Wilson. So I've made some progress, and I'm hoping that you would give me continuation in order to make some more progress.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was writing.
Do you have a plan as to, obviously what you just stated, but I mean, doing whatever you're going to do by next month, do you think that's going to
Ben, do you want to?
Yeah, if you could assist. It's specifically pertaining to what is a plan.
what you plan to do by next month?
I can address that if I may.
If I could swear you in?
Sure, yeah. I'm
Fine.
actually Ben's legal counsel. Do you still need to
You
swear
can
me
state
in?
your name?
Yeah, Brennan Heil.
Swear the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and you shall answer all that.
I do.
Can you spell your last name just so? That
Sure, it's Heil. I also signed in, which is my address. So we're here to just request another 30-day continuance. Our plan is specifically in that day. When I spoke to Mr. Wilson, we requested a few records. Our plan is twofold. We want to explore the option to determine if any of his structures are legal non-conforming structures, which should help us with the calculations for the 4,900 accessory building. We also want to make sure that we're addressing all of the items that you've listed in the previous minutes. Our plan is to basically come up with a actual written documentation provided to Tom, the board ahead of time, allow for a timeline so that Mr. McKay can actually come into compliance with that, present it in full at the June meeting, and have you approve, ask questions, make tweaks, understand the conditions. We understand that the board would like to see a few conditions on the conditional use permit. So we plan on addressing those in the plan. And the reason for the continuance is frankly, Mr. McKay was only able to bring us on in the last week. We were only able to get the records this afternoon, which was very prompt. We truly appreciate how prompt the records response was. And so with the extra 30 days, we think we can address all of the issues that have presented. If there's any other questions or anything that you want to ask us now to incorporate into that, and that would give us a full opportunity for the board to make a ruling and determine then on the conditional use or potentially a legal non-conforming use, which is what we would like the additional time to vet.
Well, I would think as far as what he needs to do, we're not zoning inspectors. That's really up to Tom Wilson to tell you
Yeah.
what you need to do. And until at least I hear what you're going to say next month about the plan, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Great.
Is your main goal to get under the 4,900 square feet? Is that?
Our main goal is to get him into compliance so that he can operate his business on the property. So the option that provides him the most flexibility is what we're going to look. So we just want to explore a few.
Okay, I know you received the code this afternoon.
Yeah.
Were you able to take a look at it at all?
Yes.
Okay, so are you going to address as far as the 25% or the incidental use? As far as running a business in a home-based business?
Yes, that's part of we plan on addressing that in the actual submitted written plan.
Because it's not just the square footage. I mean, that's.
Right, so there's a couple issues, right? There's the home use, the conditional use permit for the home use. There's also, I think the board identified that the amount of accessory building square footage is an issue. And I think there was also a desire to see a landscaping plan, but that was more, that I don't think was a
I think
code-based
that's
thing.
more
That was
of a
more of a condition, yeah.
You know, as far as whether it be planting trees
Right.
or a fence or whatever, that's just a condition.
Yeah, and
There
then
was-
setbacks as well, correct?
Well, the way that
Yeah,
the structures are right now, yes, that would be
yes,
considered, well,
And equipment. You cannot have equipment out there unless you have a fence.
understood, yeah.
You understand that part. I mean, the square footage is one thing, but there's a lot of equipment out there that can't be out there. You're aware of that.
Okay, yes,
I mean, you are aware of that yet?
I am now, yeah.
Okay. That's, I think, one of the bigger issues.
yeah, I
Okay.
think if you take a look at the code, that
Mhm.
I know it was just done here this afternoon, just
Yeah.
need to have all that addressed.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like us to address in that? I'm hearing equipment, setbacks.
Just to meet the code.
No, absolutely, yeah.
You know, learn the code, talk to the zoning inspector. And then if you come in and you meet all that, then we'll see what we meet it or not meet it, then we'll hear the case.
And we're also planning on proposing a timeline as well, because if there needs to be some modifications to the property, that's going to require some time too. So don't want that to become
It's
as,
up to this board to make a decision.
absolutely,
Then it is up to the zoning inspector to enforce it.
yes.
So as far as how much time you're gonna be given, that's not up to us.
Okay, all right,
So that's
good to
up
know.
You know, if we, whether we grant it or not, that's what we do. And then as far as whether you do it within 6 months, 30 days, whatever, that's up to the zoning inspector.
Okay, all right, that's
Okay.
helpful.
Also, we continued it last month because we wanted to give Mr. McKay a chance to do whatever he could do. And that was at our expense. If he wants an extension, there is a fee involved with that.
My understanding was an extension could be granted at any time on your code, and it was only if you were specifically requesting a continuance, there would be a fee. There seems to be two options under the code.
No, if you're asking for a
Okay.
continuance, yeah, if you're asking, I mean, if the board needs more time, and I think we sort of agreed and we kind of were. I mean, he runs a very nice business and it looks great and we want him to continue. However, you know, a lot of modifications needed to be made, so we felt that we would give him another 30 days. Now you're asking for another 30 days.
Sure.
So I think I don't know what it is, if it's $200, $250,
it's 300.
300, that's on the.
Is what it is, yeah.
Okay. Okay,
So that has to be filed and done
we'll
correctly.
work with Tom on that.
Yeah.
Then my next question is 30 days enough, or do you want to continue it for 60 days? I mean, because if you come back in 30 days and don't meet it, then there's going to be another fee, I would assume.
Well, just to clarify, within 30 days, what you want to see is a plan to actually vote on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't think we need to extend it 60 days,
Okay.
in my opinion.
I just want to make sure that there's enough time for them to take care of this.
Well, I
30
don't
days
think,
is
I don't think their
Okay.
plan is to take care of everything. I think
No.
their plan is to present.
To
a
plan a plan.
Yes, correct. Our plan is to present you a full written plan,
Yeah.
have that discussion, get a vote on a final decision from you all, and then work with Tom to actually implement it to make sure it's satisfied.
I know I had a month, but there were some questions that I had thereafter, and it took 2 weeks to get answers to those questions. So I didn't want to start rearranging everything, and have to do it again. Otherwise, I'm just spinning my wheels. So I have accomplished some things, that I knew would have to get done regardless. So another month, I think, would be adequate for us to develop a plan. And then, I can put a solution and rectify that plan, or execute that
Personally,
plan rather.
I have to tell you personally, the way our code is, I don't know what you could possibly do to reduce it down to 25%.
I see, that's a
or-
discrepancy.
Or even 49%.
Okay, the 49%, I think is
Because
doable.
based on your narrative of, what you submitted, all these buildings you have here, the only thing that's personal use is your house, your garage, and your smokehouse.
The barn
got-
is
The
all
barn.
personal use.
No, you've got here bank barn, okay, yes, the bank barn is also personal.
Right.
But you've got the equipment storage, 100% business. You've got home office, 75% business. Workshop, 80% business. Connex box, 100% business.
If you guys
Carports, 100% business.
If you guys will recall going into the storage shed, that is the large building, it was pretty much empty at that time. I had one vehicle parked in there. So when I say it's 100% business, that's because there's business equipment in there, but there's a lot of vacant space that could be utilized for
Only
personal.
49% of it. So if you've got a building, so for example, with the building you're talking about, what's the square footage?
49% of the totality of 4,900 square feet, to my understanding. Is that correct?
I think she's talking about the 49% of each accessory building.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we understand
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And what I think Mr. McKay is saying is that, although he identified in his early petition, he wasn't basing it on the square footage. He was just saying that he's using that for his business.
Right.
But if half of it's not being used at all, that would mean he would be under the 49%.
Where are we?
And there's
coming up
also
with
the
this?
issue of 12 employees.
I don't know about the 49.
Yeah, where are we coming up with this 49%?
I think it's in
Go-
it's in chapter 7,
Yeah, chapter 7, and I believe it says 25%.
25% of the dwelling
Yes,
and 49% of any accessory building. I don't actually think it says 49%.
Doesn't say
I think it says it
49%,
can't be
says the
majority, yes.
So majority would be 51%,
Okay.
therefore.
Okay,
you
because I don't
observe
ever
that
remember
49%.
seeing a figure of 49%.
no, I don't either.
Yeah.
When you're putting your plan together, I mean, read the code well. Because we have to stick to the code
Mhm.
to be able to approve it. So make sure you read the code well, talk to the zoning inspectors, make sure you can meet this. For your plan. If that's all advice I can give, because we have to stick to what it says in here.
That's correct. Yep. Any other
I don't
questions
have
or,
an issue with
yeah,
Granting another 30 days.
Oh, I don't
No,
have a
But
I
not
don't
problem
either.
with
60
that.
days.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I mean,
You know,
Okay.
we need to get
you're good with that,
this-
right? Okay.
Because this has been going on since January, so when it started.
I'd like to make a motion to continue this hearing for 30 days at the applicant's expense per his request.
And that would be on what date?
That
So we
will-
would continue it to June 19th, 2024, 7 PM? Can you state that in your motion?
Yes,
That's what it is, June 19th.
Okay,
June 19th. So I would like to amend my motion to, per the applicant's request, continue this hearing to June 19th at 7:00 PM at the applicant's expense.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, it would be June 26th, right?
I'm thinking it's the 4th.
Yeah.
No,
Wait a minute.
no, it's a public hearing,
One,
it's
two,
the second
three,
Wednesday.
four. It's the 26th with,
I'm sorry.
Second Wednesday. It's the
no,
19th.
The fourth.
We're hoping for the next meeting, whatever that day is.
it's the 26th, I'm thinking.
So our regular meeting would be the 12th, the,
26 would be
I'm sorry,
the,
it's the 26th.
Yeah, the 4th.
Okay, the 26th?
The 4th,
okay.
yeah.
26th.
That's what I was.
I'll make a second amendment to my motion.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to continue this hearing to June 26th at 7:00 PM, per the applicant's request and at his expense.
So Dave's got a second, okay.
All right,
Good
we'll
call.
just do all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we are continuing the hearing to June 26th, 2024 at 7 PM.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for your time.
And, at this point, I think we'll just, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we are adjourned at 7:17 PM. On, what's the date? May 24th?
May 22nd.
Thank you.
Well.
See you then.
that
Thank
went-
you.